I always enjoy guests like the one we're about to meet today for a variety of reasons, but simply put, here's a guy who knows a lot of stuff that can frankly help anybody in any industry, and he's taken it to the point to where he can disseminate that information in a variety of ways. He's a speaker, he has his own podcast, he's a mindset coach, he's so much more, but for now, he's our guest here on All In. The name of the company he's with is Cultivating Symphony. His name, Craig Siegel, right here on the show. Hey, Craig, how are you, buddy? Good to see you.
Brian, I'm doing unbelievable. You may not know this, but I'm a diehard fan of yours. You have my word. You and I will absolutely manufacture magic together here today.
I'm excited already. The only thing I'm already sad about is we only have 10 minutes together, but we may fix that another time. But for now, I want to go down a couple of bullet points about all the stuff that you're into. I mean, let's start with a mindset coach. I'm familiar with the term because I've talked to him, and Lord knows I need one, as we all do. But for the most part, why do people need, first of all, to change their mindset to help them the way they view things? And most importantly, it's the type of thing you can't do by yourself. You need a mindset coach. Talk to me about that.
Great questions, Brian. So, what it is, really, when it comes to support, all of us can use support in different areas, but specifically the mind. I mean, is it not the most important asset that we have in this entire world is our mind? We change our frame, and thus we change our universe. And the most dynamic people on the planet are those who dictate their inner experience. In other words, it's not so much the craft, so to speak, as is the ability to tap into that craft. Because a lot of people have talent, but a lot of people can't tap into all that potential. So as a mindset coach, as the mindset coach, I like to help people facilitate and manufacture their own breakthroughs and really help them understand that they're not broken, but often their frames can be. And when we change your perception, your entire world opens up and there's literally limitless potential.
You know, I would have to think that we're all going to run through different periods through no fault of our own where we need to change our mindset because there's things flying at us all the time, not the least of which for the last year or so, this wacky pandemic thing. And I know from a personal standpoint, you yourself had to make some changes within your business. Would you mind touching on how things have changed for you from a business standpoint in the last 12 months?
Absolutely, Brian. So I was a business owner here in Manhattan, in New York City, really for the last 10 years. And although lucrative, I'll just be straight up with you and the unbelievable BizTV audience, wasn't really fulfilled. And when the pandemic happened, it gave me a window. At the time, I thought I only had 2 weeks, what I closed my office down to. But I knew I wanted something more. I wanted to leave a mark on this world, leave a legacy, so to speak. And so I put myself in that frequency and I asked myself the tough questions. Do I want to continue on the path that I'm going down? The answer was absolutely not. And so then it came down to journaling. What is my passion? And more deeply, what is my purpose? And the truth is I've always had an obsession with personal development, and people would always come to me for inspiration. And I studied the mind for years and years, and I understand the tangible techniques to help people revamp their mindset. So where they once saw limitations, now they see possibilities. It's the same thing I did in the beginning of the pandemic. And so I launched Cultivating Symphony, CLS. I had a plan, but you never really know what's going to happen. But I took that shot, and the rest is history. We launched a podcast, 100,000 downloads in the first 2 months, back-to-back sold out coaching programs. And obviously it's brought me here today with you. So just I'm having so much fun, but more importantly, I'm living my true authentic self and purpose.
Yeah, I want to get to your podcast in a sec, but I want to back up just a second. You mentioned one of my favorite words, possibilities. A lot of people we all have opportunities. Let's face it, every day there's an opportunity for something. But you like to take it from the point of let's switch opportunities into possibilities. I like that a lot. Step back a little bit. If you can give us a little definition of how you're able to help people do that, but most importantly, why we all need to switch from opportunities to possibilities.
Yeah, what an unbelievable question. And everything is really about perception, right? Like where some people see limitations, juggernauts like you, and I like to say myself, we see opportunities. And literally, like I'll say to my clients sometimes, literally tilt your head and just look at something from a different perspective. And all of a sudden what you're looking at changes. And a lot of people have a great idea and they want to take a shot at something, or they want to put themselves out there for a relationship, but they have like you know how like a sports car has a governor, like it can't go past a certain speed. A lot of people's mindset has restrictions when it should see opportunities. And so I help people reframe their, as I like to call it, map of the world, because people don't look at the world as itself. We all have a map. And based upon how we perceive our mouth is how we live our life and the results we get. And so I help people change their perception, and I give them tangible techniques to do so.
You know, perhaps one of the biggest problems that we, and I hope I'm not just talking about me, I don't think I am, but a lot of times we're not as confident as we need to be. It's just totally a lack of confidence. But you actually can help people to, is this true? You can get confidence on command. Like all of a sudden I can say, I need some confidence now. How do you pull that one off?
Yeah, so I'm going to dive deep into the arsenal right now to help you in the audience. So confidence to me personally is everything in life. Confidence and a good energy will take you places. And even like when looking for a spouse, like what are you really attracted to? Confidence. And so how do you cultivate confidence? A lot of people are stuck with this limitation that they weren't born with it, and so they can't have it. Here's the kicker. You can exude confidence. You can develop the skill set. One of the terms that I like to teach my clients that I learned in neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, is a concept called modeling, where you can grab attributes from people that you hold in high regard, maybe a celebrity, a character from a book, a movie, whatever the case may be, and then borrow some of their attributes that made them confident and apply it to yourself. And the reason why this is so effective, Bryan, is because it takes the thinking out of it. Like, whereas when I first started CLS, I had to start putting out content out there to the world. And believe it or not, I'm a bit of an introvert and I had no social media experience, but I started utilizing modeling. People like James Bond, the fictional character who exudes confidence, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and so forth. And so it took the thinking out of it, and I was able to portray the confidence that they had. And then you just step right into the moment, and you'll be surprised at how staggering the results are. So if you're not born with something, you do have the ability to develop it.
You can develop it to the point, if you can get to where you're confident in one thing, you can build from that and use the same skill set as you develop to get this confidence, And confidence, I'm guessing, breeds more confidence. The more things you're confident in, the more things you will be confident in later on down the line. It's all about change. We all have to make changes, and I love this line. Look at the notes. When do changes start? When do people need to change? When does it get started?
Simply put, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. When you look yourself in the mirror, Bryan, and you ask yourself, are you really happy? And you have that tough conversation with yourself. And like from the outside looking in, a year ago, like I had my own business and it was lucrative and so forth. But when the pandemic happened, I had that moment to reassess. And the truth of the matter is I was not happy. I was not fulfilled. I was not waking up every day with passion. I gave it my all, don't get me wrong, but I had to dig deep and find out what my purpose was and also my passion, and I ran with it. And I'm a big believer in that. If you're able to identify, and I can help facilitate this as well, what you're truly passionate about, you will absolutely 100% make it work.
It's beautiful. You get passionate about it, then the confidence comes and it all fits together. All right, we've got about a minute left, but I want to touch on the podcast because I hope the answer is yes. Everything we talked about today, are these the type of things you talk about on your podcast?
That's exactly right, Bryan. I thought you'd never ask. So the CLS Experience podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts, Spotify, Apple, we have big juggernaut recognizable names on the show. UFC fighter, professional athletes, Hollywood actors, and so forth. But here's the best part. We don't talk about their success stories. Everyone knows about that. We dive deep on the mindset that they had when they were at rock bottom. How did they push through adversity? What tangible techniques did they utilize to overcome challenges and obstacles? And so obviously you're gonna have a great time in the show. I like to say you could laugh, you could cry, but most importantly, you're gonna learn in time. Immediately after the episodes are done, you have the ability to start applying the techniques immediately.
Well, I must say, Craig, I look forward to tuning in because I always love the stories when people that we look up to that always look like they have the confidence you were talking about. When you learn that they haven't always had that confidence and you realize, really, I think the relatability factor for people like that is huge because you see them as they are now. They show you where they used to be. That gets it to my level where I can understand it and figure out maybe I can do it because they did it as well. Hey, Craig, great stuff, man. You're all over the place, but you're all focused for helping people. That's the type of guests we like having on the show. Thank you for sharing your story. Continued success. Thanks for all you do.
My pleasure. I just want to say I'm a big fan of yours. Thank you so much. And this will not be the last time that you and I collaborate. Take care.